Hi, my name is Alan Carruthers and welcome to a brand new episode of Gadget Nation. Exciting things in store for you today. Ooh, let's see. I've got some cameras to show you, some really nifty cameras. I've got some news to share with you, I've got some game reviews and plenty more. So, as I always say, enough of me talking, let's get down to the nitty-gritty.
BlackBerry Limited has introduced the all-new BlackBerry Passport in Malaysia. Featuring a large square touchscreen and new QWERTY touch-enabled keyboard, it was designed for productivity-driven business professionals. Microsoft Devices Group has announced the availability of the Lumia 830 and Lumia 735 in Malaysia at RM 1,399 and 999 respectively. The two Lumia devices running the latest Windows Phone 8.1 operating system brings industry-leading imaging technology to more affordable price points.
Well, today everybody's very happy to be here in the Ambassador's residence. We're launching the Jabra Move wireless, colorful, fashionable series of music headphones.
Jabra has revealed the all-new Jabra Move wireless headphones in Malaysia. Designed to inspire, the Jabra Move is lightweight, simple to use, and offers the best-in-class performance at an affordable price tag of 369 ringgit.
Okay, so I did promise you some cameras and I've got not one but two to compare for you. One from Sony, one from Olympus. How do they stack up against each other? What are they like as an individual product, not against each other? And how could you as an aspiring photographer or photographer look to use the camera? Well, here's my review. Okay, so two cameras in front of us to just take a look at and have a little bit of fun. The one on the left-hand side is from Olympus. We'll take a look at that secondly. Firstly, let's just focus on one of the latest offerings we have from Sony. This is the Alpha 5100, 5100, however you want to say it. And it's very cool, very nifty, and it feels really nice in my hands. I'm liking it already. We obviously have the white model here, and there's a lot to love about it. Let's just talk a little bit about the build and the handling. It's got this nice textured feeling in it, so it feels very nice to hold. Now, it may be quite small, a lot smaller than the A6000, but it still feels solid and sturdy in my hands, as you can see right here. Now, because it is smaller, there's a loss of control dial at the top. So if you've seen the A6000 before, otherwise, just take my word for it. It's lacking that at the top, so that's something a little bit different. So everything has to be kind of touched up at the back, and to make sure you can access everything, the greater use of the navigational controls, etc. And they can also obviously be customized, as you can see right there. Now, it's small, it's pretty light, it's about 224 grams. The screen itself, let me just switch it on, although it won't come across on camera very well. It's nice and bright, and obviously you can touch it as well and use it as a touch screen. So pretty cool, and in case you're wondering, it does flip around and you can start taking your selfies like such. Obviously, it's the most in thing that you can come across, a full 180 tiltable LCD screen. Now, what about the actual performance? Now, inside here, it has the same sensor that you find on some of the other cameras. It's pretty nifty if you ask me. It's 24.3 megapixels. It's using the CMOS sensor and the same Bion X processor as well. So with that in mind, you would think that the picture quality compared to the A6000, which has the same processor, would actually be pretty much the same. So I'm very happy with it in that sense. Now, in case you're wondering, it does have a pop-up flash. Let me just press it. Ah, there you go. So it looks sleek, it looks very nice, and it does pop up, and it's not too intrusive in any way whatsoever. It's also got Wi-Fi and NFC connectivity. I think you can make out the logo right there. And obviously, being a Sony, if you have your smartphone, you can get the PlayStation Memories app, and then you can start using that effectively to transfer to Facebook, wherever you want to do it, really. Now, overall, I would say that it's pretty good. It can go pretty nice if you're going to be printing, but once you get to ISO 6400, that's when you might start getting a few issues here and there. But generally, it's okay. The color saturation on this is very nifty. It does an outstanding job generally of doing the pictures in how you want it, the style you like it. Now, one key factor, which I haven't touched on, is this hybrid autofocus, whereby it will effectively kind of detect if something is moving and it can switch automatically, etc. So it does have this, yeah, it's a hybrid effectively. And that does work quite well as well in practice. It also works for movies, I should add that as well. So it can work out by itself what it should be doing, but obviously you can play around the settings how you see fit. But it's quite a nice little touch, so obviously internally a lot to love about this. If you liked the 6000, you should like this as well. It's just effectively a more compact version. Now, one thing which I didn't like is that this touchscreen, which I mentioned earlier, it's very limited in what it can do. I can't actually control the menu, etc. And given the fact that it's lost the control dial up top because it's smaller than the A6000, a little bit of loss right there, but I'm not going to complain too much. I can still snap away and take my pictures by tapping this touchscreen, but again, very limited in that sense. Now, enough about this. What about the Olympus? All right, so we move on from that to this, which is the Olympus Stylus 1, and already it feels just as sturdy, just as nice in your hands as the Sony does. I mean, it's got this nice textured feeling as well. Perhaps not quite as well done as the Sony, which feels almost ceramic, but nonetheless, this does feel very nice in your hands, very compact, very sturdy. Weight-wise, it feels very similar to what I just felt with the Sony, so obviously plus points there. Now, I've got to show you this. Something which I really like is the fact that you may notice there's no cover for the lens. Now, this has a cover, I just put it to the side, but this, on the other hand, operates very differently. So, you see there? It comes out and it's just basically opens up to allow the lens to come out once it's switched on automatically. You close it, or switch it off rather, it will go back in and it's nicely protected, as you can see right there. Just a very, very nice touch. Looks very sleek, very, very cool. Obviously, massive, huge plus points for that. Now, internally, this one may not be packing as much a punch as the Sony, at least in terms of megapixels. This is only 12 megapixels, but take nothing away. There's a lot to love about this camera and what it can and cannot do. There seems to be more customization allowed at the top, as you can see right there. We compare it to the Sony, which is a little bit more sparse. Obviously, the Sony there is in the white. And also on the back, you can see a whole hybrid and a whole hybrid of options. I'm just going to compare it so you can see both right there. So this feels a lot more personal. This feels like a little bit more professional if you are into that sort of thing. Now, what else do I like about this camera? What about its performance? Let's get a little bit deeper of this. Okay, I have to show you one thing I love. Well, another thing I love about this. This also has a touchscreen, and it's a little bit more effective, in my opinion, than the one we found on the Sony, but it's not a selfie one which can go all the way 180 or just go about 90 degrees like such. But it's okay. I'm not the biggest selfie person in the world, so I think I will live about taking my selfies, and it's pretty nice. There's lots of different options you can choose in terms of focusing. So with this one, 35 focus points you can choose on the screen by just touching it, or you can also choose manually. Now, I think the biggest thing about this is how many things you can change with the camera, like this dial up here can be customized to exactly what you want, so it really depends on you as an individual photographer of what you want to do. Another thing which I have to say is the focus on this is really fast, like it's in a blink of an eye. I just took one while just talking. Very, very, very good. I mean, this is top notch in terms of how fast you can take a picture, and really Olympus have gone all out to ensure that that helps, so you're just trying not to miss a single moment effectively. So obviously thumbs up for that. Overall, pictures are pretty nifty. I think there's a slight limitation in terms of its lens, etc. Like I said, it's also running on half the megapixels of that. Both cameras worth checking out, both rather pricey. The Olympus is a shade under 2,500. The Sony, the price will rise from about the same to slightly over 3,000 depending on what you get, but both worth checking out, to say the least.